If you're spending 2 hours in the gym staring at your phone between sets and still not seeing your legs grow, you're likely spending more time resting than actually training. Usually, you load up a weight you can lift 12 times. You do your set, put the weight down, and rest for 2 to 3 minutes before doing it again. But as this chart shows, the first few repetitions in that set aren't actually a challenge. You're just performing low-effort junk volume to reach the point where the reps finally become difficult, the final grinders that actually trigger growth. When you take a standard 3-minute rest, your body recovers so much that you have to start that process all over again. You spend your next set grinding through those same easy reps just to reach the threshold that counts. If you're doing 3 sets of 12, but only the last 3 reps of each set are actually taxing the muscle, you're performing 36 movements just to get 9 useful repetitions. Most of your session is spent on the prep work, not the stimulus. To fix this, you perform one initial ignition set to failure, but then you slash your rest period down to just 15 to 30 seconds. By keeping the rest brief, you don't allow the muscle to recover. This means that right away, from the very first rep of your next set, you are back into the high-intensity zone. You completely bypass the junk volume. From here, you stop counting sets and start counting the reps that count towards 20. You keep doing short clusters with minimal rest until you hit that target. But applying this kind of intensity to your legs forces a critical choice in how you load the movement. You have 2 primary options: the free weight athletic goblet squat or the isolated machine leg extension. Because this protocol pushes you to failure repeatedly with almost no rest, choosing the wrong tool for your biology will either stall your gains due to total body exhaustion or put your knee joints at risk. The goblet squat is a closed chain movement where you hold a dumbbell vertically at chest height, keeping your feet planted on the floor. Front-loading the weight forces your core and upper back to work overtime to keep your torso upright, while your quads do the heavy lifting. The problem with using short rest pauses here is that your cardiovascular system or your back muscles will likely fail before your legs do. Your lungs will give out while your quads still have plenty of energy left. To handle the systemic fatigue, you have to lighten the weight, using a load you could normally handle for 20 reps instead of 12. Because you're using a lighter weight, each individual effective rep provides a smaller stimulus than it would with a heavier load. To reach the same level of muscle growth, you have to increase the volume, aiming for 40 effective reps instead of 20. This method builds significant, resilient athleticism, but requires battling through intense cardiovascular fatigue to actually trigger leg hypertrophy. On the other side, we have the leg extension, an open-chain, isolated machine movement. By sitting in the machine, you remove the need for core stability or upper body strength. Your back and your lungs are no longer the limiting factors. This routes every ounce of tension directly and exclusively into the quadriceps. Because the quads are perfectly isolated, they reach failure much faster. You can use a heavier relative weight and only need to hit 20 effective reps to maximize the growth signal. The trade-off is that this growth is strictly localized. Training your legs in a seated, fixed position provides no functional benefit to how you jump, run, or move in the real world. This is a highly efficient way to build quad size, provided you're comfortable developing a physique that looks powerful but hasn't been trained for athletic movement. Deciding between these two requires looking at the total toll they take on your body. We compare systemic effort, overall fatigue, against targeted hypertrophy, leg growth potential. The goblet squat hits high systemic effort, but moderate targeted hypertrophy, since lungs fail first. The leg extension reverses this: minimal systemic fatigue, but massive targeted thigh growth. However, that isolation creates a high level of localized shear force directly across the knee joint as you pull the weight up. If you combine that mechanical stress with a high-intensity rest pause protocol, you risk aggravating pre-existing issues like patellar tendinitis. Chasing the most efficient growth path is only a win if your joints can actually tolerate the concentrated mechanical strain. Choosing the right tool comes down to a 2-step reality check based on your own body and your specific goals. The first filter is non-negotiable: the current health of your knees. If you have knee pain, you follow the yes path. Stick to the closed-chain mechanics of the goblet squat to protect the joint while you work. If your knees are healthy, you move to the second filter, your primary goal. If you want core strength and balance, go with the goblet squat. just be ready for the cardiovascular battle required to hit 40 reps. If your only focus is visual muscle growth, the leg extension provides the most direct route to your 20 effective reps. Regardless of the exercise, the results only come if you strictly enforce that 15 to 30-second rest period between your clusters. By picking the right movement for your joints and your goals, you can get a complete growth-inducing leg workout done in under 45 minutes without wasting a single set.